Hey guys, Mr. Marcus here, and as you can see, we're doing some more Master League. So Southampton, episode number 12? I want to say 12, but I think it's 13. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I believe it's 13. So episode number 13, of course. In today's episode we have 2 games from the Premier League and 1 game from the FA Cup. As you'd see here, this game against Tottenham Hotspur is in the FA Cup semi-finals, and of course we're going to be playing a relatively strong team, but of course not our strongest team, because we don't really care too much about winning the FA Cup. At the end of the last episode we finished top of the table of the Premier League by 2 points, and we're probably thinking that, well, we could potentially go on and win the title if we just win the rest of our games. We don't have too many the hardest opposition we have left to face is Arsenal, I think Tottenham and Liverpool are 3 hard games left, and that's really about it. All the rest, as long as we can consistently beat the other teams, we should potentially maybe win the title. I mean, I don't really care about winning it, because I mean, I just want the Champions League football. That's all I really care about. And knowing me, that we'll probably, if we do end up winning it, we won't win it the second season, because we'll struggle in the Champions League, or we'll get really far in the Champions League while sort of having to sacrifice something, either the FA Cup or the league. So it's an little interesting option which might happen in this season in general, if we in the next season in this series, if we end up winning it or not. So of course, as you see here, this is the FA Cup match. So the likes of Shane Long, James Ward-Prowse, Thomas Rosicky, Gazaniga started. Like, a lot of young players and fringe players started in this particular match, because of course I don't care about winning the FA Cup, I care about winning the league, is where it's sort of at. So as we see here, this for basically the first time actually shows you the bloody starting lineup for like the first time this season in quite a while. And like Azpilicueta played, our like main players who are considered our high profile players are Schneiderlin, Wanyama, Alderweireld and what's his name, Azpilicueta and Nathaniel Klein. All the rest were basically our youngsters, or our loanee players like Thomas Rosicky and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. So going up against Tottenham Hotspur, of course, with the likes of Adebayor and Eriksson and Błaszczykowski, if we actually ended up buying from Borussia Dortmund. We actually played Jack Cork, so of course we couldn't have played Wanyama, because yeah, so we played Jack Cork instead of Wanyama. So of course, us kicking off at I think we're at the Royal London Stadium, which is just such a retarded name for a stadium. Actually, we're at the St Mary's Stadium. That makes no sense. How could we be at the St Mary's? Oh, we're at the Royal London Stadium, but because we're at the Royal London Stadium essentially. So in the first minutes of the match here, we end up getting an opportunity literally in the 20th minute of the match. Shane Long comes up for a corner kick, from a corner kick, after he actually got the corner kick from a very good shot. Rosicky ends up popping it into the box, and Shane Long's there just to head it past Hugo Lloris. And literally about 9 minutes later, Shane Long again gets another opportunity. This time it hits off the crossbar. Unfortunately for me, it hits off the back of Kyle Walker and goes flying into the back of the net to give us a 2-0 lead in the FA Cup semi-final in the 20th minute, which is just, well, the 30th minute, which is just ridiculous, because we're winning 2-0 at half-time. So 2-0 at half-time, with an absolutely fantastic result so far. As long as we didn't concede too many opportunities in the second half, we could potentially go into the final of the FA Cup, which would be great, but I mean, I don't really care too much about it, to be honest. But going into it, literally from the half-time, at second half, basically from the start of second half, Jack Cork here gets an absolutely great chance, which he just takes with a bomb and pops into the back of the net, nice and easily, from a nice little pass back from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to give us a 3-0 lead against Tottenham Hotspur. And we're just like dominating them. We were completely dominating them. Comes to the 54th minute, however, Azpilicueta goes flying into the back of Błaszczykowski, and the referee gives a straight red card. Personally, for me, it's not a straight red card challenge, but who am I to complain? So basically, it means that Azpilicueta won't be able to play in the final if we get. We'll be getting to it now, as you can see here, because of course we're not going to give up a 3-0. We're not going to concede 3 goals in 2 minutes. So with that logic, I was a bit pissed off, and I was like, well, it gives me an opportunity to play some other players, which is even better, because it allows me to play a good allows me to play Bertrand or someone at left back instead of Azpilicueta, or even Luke Shaw, like what could potentially be his final game for Southampton before his loan deal expires. But as you see there, we won 3-0. Lloris was in the box for whatever reason in the last minutes of the match because of a corner kick, but we're into the final of the FA Cup, either up against Manchester United or Manchester City. Now, we've beaten Man City twice this season, so they might be wanting revenge, while Man United, of course, we could potentially pick them to the title. So it comes down to that. Again, like I've said several times before, if your centre-back is the man of the match, then something is crazily going on wrong when you win a match. But as you see there, Man City ended up beating Manchester United 2-0 in the other semi-final. So we go into a final FA Cup match against Manchester City, which will probably end up being in the last episode of this first season. But going into the second match of this episode, and it is against Hull City, Steve Bruce's side. Of course, they're playing Luco and Alex Hernandez, or Abel Hernandez up front. And the likes of Robbie Brady in midfield, El Mohamedi and they have Gaston Ramirez. Where did they get Gaston Ramirez from? Oh no, he's in real life. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, this game against Hull City, of course, at the end of this game, I show you the table as well as show you the table at the end of the episode, because of course it comes to the point where a lot of the games sort of make sense. That if I'm winning or losing games, then I can show you the table and sort of you could pause the video when it shows you the table, and you could look at the table for yourself if you really want to. But again, facing off against someone like Hull City, we should easily destroy this team, considering that they're not the best team in the world and they're not the worst team in the world, but we should still beat them quite comfortably, considering that we're top of the table and they're like languishing in like 15th or whatever. So of course, as the home side, we kicked off in this game, the likes of Jay Rodriguez playing, Graziano Pella playing up front, Wanyama came back in. Basically everyone was just as full strength a side as you possibly want. So in the 4th minute of the match here, Graziano Pella is just sort of running at Tom Huddleston, just runs past a couple of players, gives it back to Tadic. Tadic waits for him to make a run, gives it to James Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse just takes an opportunity and pings it in the back of the net. Now Ward-Prowse is rated only about 76, I think now, or 72 or 73 now, but he's an absolutely amazing player. If you have the opportunity to buy him for like if you want some youngsters to buy, I'd advise buying him, because he's just absolutely great. As you see, Tadic here on the ball in the 18th minute of the match, getting a shot away. It's a quite a good shot as well. Azpilicueta actually was playing at right back in this particular match. Skins past a couple of players, gets another shot away. Again, it's really unfortunate for me that it goes just wide of the far post. But in the 21st minute here, Abel Hernandez gets a shot away. It's a good save from Fraser Forster. And I did quite a lot of poor defending in this particular part. No, this is the part which is just ridiculous. Okay, so no one stops Azpilicueta running forward. Like, absolutely no one. He just continues to go forward. Nothing can stop him. He just continues going on, gets his opportunity, and just pings it into the back of the net like the beast that he is. Now, before anyone says anything, this is on Superstar difficulty. I'm just really good at the game, and I'm facing off against the computer. So, yeah. Azpilicueta runs basically the whole pitch and ends up scoring a goal, which is just insane. To make it 2-0 to us and 2-0 at half time. So 2-0 at half time, not too bad against Hull City. Again, it's all about winning those games which we should be winning, and of course if we're winning the game which we should be winning. So a 2-0 half time lead against Hull City, of course, as you see there, it's really 50-50 in terms of possession, but everything else we were dominating in them. We're dominating them completely. And 8 minutes into the second half here, as we see Tadic take a corner kick, heads it, and basically it's a great corner kick to Pella. Pella heads it. It's a good save from the goalkeeper, but it comes out to Wanyama, who's about 2 yards out, who ends up pinging it into the back of the net for his like first or second goal of the season, or whatever it is. A little bit of a glitch there in the video, which is really weird. But Robert Snodgrass gets thrown goal there, as you see, and ends up scoring a goal. And they get 3-1 to us, but they get their consolation goal in about the 70th minute of the match. As we go into the last minutes of the match here, as you can see, Azpilicueta basically dead, still gets the ball off Tom Ince, clears the ball, and we win it 3-1 against Hull City. I was going to say 3-1 against Southampton. That's impossible. But yeah, so we beat Hull City 3-1. And of course, like I said, I would show you the table at the end of this game, as well as the end of the episode. So of course, with that logic, as you see there, we completely dominated them in terms of shots on target, and pass completion percentage was dreadful, and they actually had more possession than us. As Azpilicueta gets man of the match because of course he assisted the goal and he scored a goal, I think. But anyway, we're 4 points clear of Manchester United, considering that they got beat in the game which we just played. Whoever they were playing, they got beat by. So going into the last game of this episode, it's against one of those sides which I said at the start of the episode that we could potentially have like some problems against, and that is Liverpool. Now Liverpool, of course, we got beat by them at St Mary's Stadium. It took us 2-2 draw all the way to extra time to beat them and then a penalty shootout in the FA Cup. So this game was going to be interesting, is probably the best word to say. So supposedly we're away to Anfield. It's not actually Anfield, it's actually I think it's actually Estadio del Nuevo Triunfo. But of course, I called it Anfield because I want to keep it as realistic as possible. But anyway, we're going up against the beasts of Liverpool, the beasts of Merseyside that are bloody Balotelli and Daniel Sturridge. For every reason, Daniel Sturridge always seems to score about 5 goals against me every single time I ever play him. And Balotelli doesn't really do much, but he does always end up usually scoring a goal. But this particular game, I wanted to start it off well. I wanted to try and go forward and score goals. I didn't really care about defending particularly well, but I cared about scoring goals. Graziano Pella was in form in this particular match. He was actually in red hot form as well, so it was even better that they kicked off and they started playing the ball out really quickly. Eventually get the ball back here with Schneiderlin, and with, of course, with them playing like quite a weak right back, or left back in this particular case, who is Jose Enrique, end up getting a shot away here in the first minutes of the match, and Graziano Pella can't do no wrong and pops in the back of the net to get his whatever ridiculous amount of number of goals he's already scored this season. The supposed man who thinks he's more handsome than Cristiano Ronaldo goes on to score the goal, which could potentially be quite a big goal for us. So literally about 5 minutes later, again, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain just dominating the hell out of out of Jose Enrique, comes back to Chamberlain. Chamberlain gets a shot away, and he himself also scores a goal to make it 2-0 within the first 10 minutes of the match. Now this game, as you could probably already sort of guess, is going in our favour, but it's going to be quite a long game considering that there's about 2 or 3 minutes left of this particular episode. So again, about 5 or 6 minutes later, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain again on this right hand side waits for Cesar Azpilicueta to make a run down the right hand side, who of course makes the run. He ends up crossing it into Graziano Pella, just heads it past Simon Mignolet to score his second goal of the game, make it 3-0 to us within the first 20 minutes of the match, and potentially more or less cement us as winners, and maybe even cement us at the top of the table with a little bit more of that cement. But of course, with this game being the complications as it always is, somehow Jose Enrique gets through on goal, scores a goal, and the crowd go absolutely mental for the left back, who's been tormented by Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in this first half. But literally about 5 or 6 minutes after I scored that goal, went on a run of Luke Shaw, ends up playing it through to Graziano Pella. Pella doesn't even take a touch, just pings it into the near post and pops it in for his hat-trick goal in this first half to make it 4-1 to Southampton. And I was really weirded out here because I was like, what the hell is going on? Why am I scoring so many goals and just can't defend to save my life? Because as you see here in the 37th minute of the match here, Balotelli, some crazy thing happens with Gardos when he goes for a slide tackle. Daniel Sturridge gets thrown goal and pops it in the back of the net to score his first goal of this episode and his first goal of this game. So to make it 4-2 at half time, the game, this was the final score in the game against bloody Manchester United. But no, this is the half time score against Liverpool. So 4-2 Southampton, and no, 4-2 to Southampton. And it's just a great game so far. We're just dominating them. J. Rodriguez not really had that much opportunity down the left hand side, but Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has tormented the left back, and Graziano Pella has been there to pop everything in. So coming up to the 72nd minute in the second half, or actually the 25th minute in the second half, J. Rodriguez here gets his opportunity, and he takes it with aplomb as he just chests down a through ball from Tadic, and then just shoots it near post right over Simon Mignolet's head to get his first goal of the game and make it 5-2 to Southampton. But coming up about 5 or 6 minutes later, Daniel Sturridge again gets another opportunity, this time taking it again as he makes it 5-3 to Southampton. And again in the last minutes of the match, Balotelli gets a shot away. This time, fortunately for me, it goes into Fraser Forster's hand as he kicks it away with like 2 or 3 minutes remaining. James Ward-Prowse could actually come on for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain as we sort of give the ball away. But I mean, I wasn't really panicking here because I was like, again, they're not going to get enough time to score 2 goals. They might score another goal, but they won't score 2. So into like the last minutes of the match, I just waited here for Azpilicueta. Eventually should probably clear the ball. Just gave the ball back to Sturridge. I really didn't really care, as I could potentially stop him down this left hand side. Gardos does eventually stop him. I eventually clear the ball straight out to absolutely no one, but it doesn't matter because we won 5-3 against Liverpool, against a team which I said we could potentially have trouble against. We actually beat them, not comfortably, but we did still beat them. Like I was saying, even if we went on to win the title, I doubt we'd win it in the second season because every single other team always improves and it's always a pain. But Pella got the man of the match, of course, for him scoring his hat-trick in the first half. Didn't really do much in the second half. But Tottenham there you actually saw beat Arsenal. Man United beat Everton as expected. And we're still 4 points clear of Manchester United at the top of the table. So yeah, if you have enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel for more, and catch you later.